that's how you get the people who's like, oh, I've stumbled upon this apartment and the pictures look great and this, oh my gosh, this place, I didn't even know this place existed.
Kind of like the digital drive-by.
Yes.
You're listening to Reply Talk, a podcast designed to provide actionable marketing strategies and valuable insights around apartment marketing, hosted by Corbin Wright.
Let me introduce our guest.
Hi.
Hi, it is Siobhan, and she is our digital marketing guru here at Reply, and she handles everything from paid media to SEO to landing pages.
To our social media.
Social media.
I took that over.
Yeah, took the social media over. So you have your hands on a lot of things, but you're really good at SEO too.
Well, thank you.
Yes. So, and that's what today's episode, number 16, is going to be about, is SEO and why it is important in multifamily and why it's a lot of times overlooked. How some tips and tricks on how you can be competitive in your SEO, and really just an overall, talk around SEO strategy and all the fun stuff.
Sounds
all right.
good. Let's
all
get
right.
into
Let's
it.
get into it. So, what's SEO?
Yeah. SEO is search engine optimization, for those who don't know. And basically, it's just making sure that you show up on Google. It's getting that number one spot on Google.
Okay.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. All right. Showing up on the number one spot. But that's not through advertisements.
Correct.
Okay.
It's that first spot under the ads.
Gotcha. Okay. So, SEO, search engine optimization, why is it important? Because?
It's just important because it's your free organic traffic. You don't have to pay for it through ads. And it's just one of the greatest ways, in my opinion, to build your brand.
Absolutely.
So
just creating that visibility for free.
Yep, absolutely.
Well,
which at the end of the day, great visibility is going to mean great leads.
Absolutely. Agreed. So SEO, there are two things incorporated in SEO. I feel like not a lot of people, I didn't know this until I really became involved in SEO and really understood it and explained it and, learned about it. But there's a technical side and then there is a local side.
Right.
Can we explain those?
Yeah. So, there's the two sides. The technical side is, I like to explain it as making Google your friend. It's creating your website and making sure that your website Google can understand everything that's going on there. And then it's creating a positive user experience through your site. And then local and content is where you are trying to get, be best friends with the user. You're creating content and you need to be accessible as much as you can to the user. Relevant
content through that search result.
Exactly.
So what they're looking for, you're creating visibility by what they're searching for, and keywords and all of that fun stuff. That's where all the keyword research comes in, and what you want to show up for first, and all of that good stuff. Okay, so with the technical side, there's a lot that goes into it. And would you say that the technical side comes first?
Yeah, absolutely. If Google can't understand what's on your site, and if the user can't get to your site because you're having technical problems, slow site speed, then great content is never going to be, it's never going to matter.
They're never going to get there.
They'll never get there. Exactly.
Gotcha. So what about with local SEO though? With if they search, is there a way for your business listing to pull up if there's a crappy website?
Yeah, I mean, you can use, Google My Business or an ILS or, Yelp, all kinds of things to get to the site. But the best place to get those leads is to get them on your site. And
Absolutely.
if they can't get there, if the technical is not good, then you're losing out on those leads.
For sure. Absolutely. So you can get there, but you're going to send them to something that is just not a good experience. And that's where making sure it's just a perfect storm, where you've got your technical side, making sure that you've got your site speed up to par. You've got, and with site speed comes a lot of things like, your JavaScript minification, you're compressing your images, resizing those, making sure that it's all compliant with what Google finds important, right? And then on the local side, creating that visibility with all of the search engines, so pushing out all of your stuff, and then we use tools to do that,
Right.
Which makes it more manageable, right?
Right.
Okay. So with that, what are some things in local that some people might not pay attention to that they need to pay attention to?
Yeah, right off the bat, for me, is managing Google My Business. So many properties haven't even claimed their Google My Business listing, which is huge. A lot of places don't know that Google, once they figure out you're there, will just make a listing. And
Okay.
you need to manage it.
Yeah.
So you can claim it and manage it. And then a lot of people who have claimed it just aren't managing it, especially with as much acquisitions and mergers that are going on. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with it,
Yeah.
but having to keep that phone number correct, making sure the map is correct. That's a huge one. Making sure that the pin on the maps are exactly where they need to be. Those are,
Across all maps.
across all maps.
So you've got Google, you've got
Yeah,
Waze,
Waze.
you've got Apple Maps, you got all
Yep.
these things that it can mess up.
Right.
And then I've been there before. So I've had this happen multiple times where I've acquired a new property, put it in the GPS, put it on Waze, and it sends me a completely different, to a unit
Right.
rather than a actual leasing office.
Right.
But then you look on Google or on Apple Maps, and it takes you directly to where you need to be.
Right.
So, so that I feel like that's one thing that can get missed. But there's so many different things that can get missed, and I think that's why you need a pretty solid SEO strategy, a checklist of things that you have to be able to keep track of to make sure that you're building that trust with your future resident.
Yeah, absolutely.
They know where they're going. They know that the content's relevant. It's updated. So what about ILSs? So I know that this has been a hot topic here lately. Well, my ILSs, they do SEO for us. We've got SEO covered.
So one of the big things is that an ILS is not building your brand. They're building their brand. And when you go to your community site on an ILS, you're still going to see the other competitors. But if you're sending people directly to your website, they're not seeing your competitors. There's no opportunity or chance for them to maybe see something better over there.
For sure.
So you want to have, through SEO, you can help bring that traffic directly to you. And then the other thing that I think has been really popular, or not so much popular, the problem is that people come to us saying, well, what's the point? The ILS is always first. I can't beat that. And this is partially true. You're never going to beat out apartments in Atlanta or apartments in California.
But your brand.
But you can win on your brand. You can win on very specific keywords related to your brand.
Yep.
Luxury apartments that are dog friendly, very specific key terms that, the ILSs aren't necessarily targeting, and you can win those.
And that is it's a perfect example of why SEO is important for your brand, because you don't want the ILS to beat you out in your brand, because you're going to create so much visibility into other communities, into your comms,
Absolutely.
when you send them to that ILS. So even though they're going to your ILS page, they are just fully transparent into everybody else's stuff.
Right.
Your visibility into all these other communities, they can go wherever they want.
Absolutely.
But if they go to your website, that's the one that we want the first spot, so that they can get a full picture of it, and they can't go anywhere else.
Right.
So, all right. So competing with ILSs, it's to build your brand. Focus on your SEO, build your brand. Don't let
Right.
the ILS build your brand,
Right.
because they're gonna send you elsewhere. So what's good apartment SEO?
Yeah, so, like we kind of said, there's a lot of things that are going into it. But it's just getting your foundations right, your basics right. Making sure that you've submitted your sitemap to Google Search Console. That's just the first way that Google's going to find your website. Making sure that your website is user-friendly. Making sure that your website is reflecting the brand that you're putting out there. So if you're a luxury apartment, you want your website to have that luxury feel.
Yeah.
It's going to match, and that's also going to help you get that qualified traffic to your site.
Absolutely.
You don't want, tons of unqualified traffic.
That's the least
Yeah.
that you want. You don't want that at all.
Not useful in any way.
Absolutely.
And then, the other part of that is getting that local SEO. Local SEO will just it'll help people who don't even know what they're looking for, help them find you.
Absolutely.
Which is just, that's how you get the people who's like, oh, I've stumbled upon this apartment and the pictures look great and this, oh my gosh, this place, I didn't even know this place existed.
Kind of like the digital drive-by.
Yes, I love that.
It's like the digital drive-by. It's like, oh shit, I just Googled some apartments and then it's all of a sudden popped up, and that's like you driving by and it's like, oh, they look cool.
Yeah.
They look good. Their business listing
Absolutely.
looks nice. And that's just, it's crucial from a traditional marketing standpoint of having all of your landscaping and stuff done. And those are the basics.
Yep.
So those are like the basic things that you do from a traditional marketing standpoint. SEO is like your landscaping and all of this stuff that
it's
just
the pretty sign out front.
Yeah, that you just do.
Yep.
So I like that analogy that I just made. Oh, all right. So anything else that goes into great SEO?
Yeah, the other thing that I think has been massive is just completely leveraging your location. We know that people are searching for amenities. We know that people are searching for one bedrooms or searching for specific price points. But I think a lot of people are missing out on that location, just opportunity, that location-based opportunity. School districts are huge.
Yeah.
Big shopping centers or kind of those like multi-use
Employers.
Yeah, employers. Leveraging that through your SEO will open up all kinds of doors.
So much more visibility.
Absolutely.
And that's where I feel like you can leverage your paid campaigns to understand where that traffic's coming from.
Yes.
And everybody asks, well, I already do PPC. I don't need SEO. It's like, well, you can learn a lot from your PPC and put that into your SEO. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And you can vice versa too. SEO, you might find people going to your site. You might find sources or, the key terms that people are finding your site that you never even thought of, or things that didn't come up in your initial research. Because, with PPC, a lot of people do keyword research in the beginning and they forget to do it, every few months, keep checking on it. And as your brand grows and your visibility grows, you'll come up in all kinds of new searches and new key terms.
Yep.
And not only that, how the area around you grows and changes.
You got to reposition. You've got comps and stuff coming in. There's all these different things, all these different variables. Yep. So having, a strategy around staying up to date, understanding what your market's looking like, your digital market is looking like around you, and staying on top of that. All right. What about this is just off the topic, but voice. So what about voice in SEO and voice search and all of that stuff? How's that changing?
Yeah, so that's starting to become really big now too. People will be out driving and they'll see, like you said, the drive-by, and they want to get information on it. You need to be able to come up for that for the brand. You need to be able to come up in terms like, what's that apartment on that street?
Yeah.
And that's how people are finding you these days. As more and more people, it's all about becoming that instant accessibility and that kind of quick thinking. You need to make sure that you're visible in those moments.
Absolutely. Okay. So, and also too, managing all of the different platforms, it's a beast.
It is.
So, I know that we leverage a couple different pieces of software to be able to manage these business listings and everything. So, explain a little bit about that.
Yeah. So, one of my favorite tools, and I think one of the top tools for a lot of SEO pros out there is Yext.
Yeah.
It's managing your citations. So managing that listing in dozens of places. So in one location, we're able to make sure the website URL is correct, the phone number is correct, keywords. And it's just making sure that, as you're going through acquisitions and mergers and everything's changing all the time, you're always going to have the most up-to-date, correct information out there. Because nothing is going to turn someone off more than when they go to click on your website and the URL is broken. Yeah. They're not going to spend the time to try to find the right URL. Nope. They're going to move on to the next person.
Trust has been lost.
Yep.
They're on to the next one.
Yep. They don't care.
For sure. No, those are all great points, and this is just, this is a high-level overview of SEO and why it's important. But I think that kind of wraps up what we're, the importance of SEO. And we could go on all day.
I could go on all day.
Could go on all day, and it's actually it's extremely interesting. an interesting landscape of SEO and how it like evolves too, like with the voice and everything that you need to do to stay on top of being visible.
It's constantly changing. I think Google changes their algorithm for SEO like 500 times a year or something. It's just insane.
That's crazy. Well, all right. So that is our episode on SEO. If you have any questions about SEO, please reach out to us. We would be more than happy to give you some tips or actually look into your website and see what you guys can do. But this was episode 16 of Reply Talk with Siobhan about SEO. And follow us on LinkedIn, YouTube, or visit us at reply360.com. And we will see you guys on the next episode. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
See you guys.